How to Really Do Self-Help by Alan Fashion. Keep it simple. From common sense, an easier plan is easier to follow. It means plans can work for people who are not managers or trained office workers or who haven't been to university. Also, it gives some chance the plan can work for people who've drunk a bit too much, taken drugs, or in time have had various bangs on the head. Really, a complicated plan is not necessarily better anyway. And this is even if you could keep to it. Using a computer to edit and print your plan or making notes to remind you of things can improve your chances of doing your plan. A computer can make a plan easier and simpler to write and to keep to, and not the reverse of it. Exercise. You can do 20 to 30 minutes exercise per day regularly. Temptation. Don't put temptation in harm's way, as people are bound sometimes to give in to temptation when otherwise they wouldn't have done it. Diet. Don't have any sugary snacks or sweets. Also, don't skip meals. Skipping meals can make you feel hungry later on and want some sugary snacks. As well, the author's own research found a perfect correlation between the number of meals per day and the number of tasks. Having a variety of food should mean that you get enough minerals and vitamins and you can throw away your nutrition guide. Also, try having fresh and not processed more often. And you can try adding an extra portion of vegetables when you feel like it. Sleep. People feel high at night because of ambitions that perhaps they are doing on their computers in their bedrooms. As well, watching music videos and pretty girls makes people high. Pretty girls will make people overexcited mentally. And it is as well, even if there is little to say about just girls smiling and pouting. Also, it could be a lack of exercise. For example, people sleep uncomfortably and then they fight tiredness the next day. As well, people calling them names for being fat might mean they'd not do ambitious projects with their computers. Perhaps, they should concentrate on losing weight first and then just get a regular job. Yet, some people don't seem to have been called cruel names if they are fat and they keep up their ambitions. As well as feeling tired, untidiness or clutter can make people not feel like doing much. The same is true of any noise or other distraction. But it seems that some people don't realize how distractions reduce how much they do or they can learn about anything as well. Learn how to. You can learn how to do things over time. Also, if you make it a priority to learn how to do something, then you will learn that particular thing faster. And you will have milestones along the way that are motivating. Also, trying things out practically, you reinforce your learning. Other than doing the real task to practice it, you can do art or other creative pursuits on your computer that reinforce learning. Looking up again a topic you are interested in on the internet can also reinforce learning. It does when there are new videos all the time or websites to visit. All this could be true for anything you might look up about any subject. People don't always think something they are concerned about has anything to do with learning. But often things of interest or concern may in many ways need you to learn about them. This is to achieve anything. Also, you need study skills to learn anything. And these are as well the same study skills as you learn it at school. Keep a diary. Really, it is the first steps in changing anything about your life that you do know the correct advice. It was recognized even back in the 17th century that keeping a diary could help people with personal problems. This is because researchers found that everyone had all the advice they needed already often, but that they had forgotten it. People did not tell them again who could remember telling them the first time. Or sometimes they could tell that someone else had already told them before about it, so they were disinclined for that reason. If you could actually remember all the advice you'd had, then you might actually do it when otherwise you wouldn't be able to. Don't overuse just one sense. Put the TV on in the background if you're going to listen to the radio a lot, and nor read all day without having the radio on. Reading too much might eventually lead to blindness, and listening to music too much might eventually lead to deafness. Watch some TV as it is audiovisual. But you can't watch too much television that has radiation and a flickering image. Radiation affects concentration and might eventually lead to being senile. And a flickering image watching too much television can cause epilepsy. Perhaps, don't try to do one thing all the time. It is healthy to lie in bed and do nothing. As well, you can go out for a walk. This uses all senses. Also, doing the cleaning uses more than one sense. It is more mental and physical effort to do more than one task. More than one task uses more of the senses. And the main thing that causes not doing many tasks is poor nutrition. Have regular meals, eat enough, and don't fill up on snack foods or sugary things. Realize tricks played on you. There is the policy to tell children that all of them in the class can become successful. This is to give them a better childhood. In childhood, they don't feel other children are better than they are or that they have to come first. But some people never realize it even when they are adults. Anybody who was successful would have known about it just after leaving school. This is because they would have been put on a fast-track management program, or they would have gone to the best universities, business schools and other schools. In some areas of employment, only people who have been to the top schools can find any work in their profession at all. As well, if you haven't already been successful, then why haven't you? Unless you plan to do something different from now on, then you won't ever be a success. It is just not enough to read even more books and watch even more television programs about business or other topics, but instead you have to start earning money or actually doing the things. Gratitude. Be grateful to have a computer even if you're not a famous writer or artist. And be grateful you can write and do art on it without having to have people acknowledge your work, or without having people come to your door offering platitudes and gifts. If you are just a normal person, and one with only a school-leaving age education, then it is unlikely that anything you do will be that good anyway. So don't bother with it. Why would it be any better than anyone else's work? This is if somebody other than you could have studied for another 5 or 6 years before writing and publishing anything. If you'd had the chance to have all those lessons, then wouldn't your own work have improved immensely as well? Also, a class is not snobbish but intended to produce writers to write for the mass market. So where do you fit in? You only fit in on the bottom rung, if anything. A happier you. Just write or do art, that is whatever you feel like. You can do something that will make you feel good. Also, do something if you have already put some effort into learning how to do it. And do something that is not too personal. This is even if it is just on your computer and not online. And publish anything that is good. You can when really you know that you can write well or do art. Also, if you have a computer, you should really be enjoying going online and looking at all the other media other than your own out there. If you do not have time to read other people's stuff or to look at other people's videos and artworks, then that is a major fault in your thinking. You need to make some time to have had curled up with a novel that you did not write yourself, or you can just listen to the radio whilst you lie in bed and let the day go by. And then get up and think that at least you've not damaged your health, and in fact, you've done it some good by having a rest. Then, consider as well your writing projects. Think if your works are unique, and as well, think how unique they are. Perhaps, other people have in fact done something similar already before you. Also, think if it is really just vanity the reason that you are doing it. Particularly, think what other things in your life now you would like to do. All this is without getting ill first. Then just do all the other things you've ever wanted to do. This is other than writing or being an artist. And you can use your computer just to watch video on if you'd like some videos. After having a rest like this and some time to think, then, if you like, and you don't think it's a problem to you anymore, you really can come back to doing some writing or to doing some art. You are probably by now a lot happier. And that might be all that is needed to make you a better writer or artist. You can be a writer or an artist who doesn't see problems with doing something others would normally be jealous of to have done. Also, the time you are at your computer will probably be a lot happier and more productive. You'll take your breaks better and not spend all day on it. And probably now, you'll be able to think of something else to do with the rest of your day. As well, the time you spend with real people you know and not just people online will be something you'll appreciate much more. This is if, by now, you have better social skills and the tiniest bit else going for you. You want something other than just doing creative arts, using computer art or WP software or to have good computer skills that people can say about you. This is also for yourself that you'd want to have these things. So, take a break. Relax, listen to music and watch the late film. And do this just for one day. Look at the listings, the books on your shelf, and the videos on your computer and plan your day without turning on your word processor, spreadsheet, email or art apps. Also, take a notebook, put a line down the center of the page and write on one side the times you did something and on the other side what you did. You can keep this just for a bit to see what you have done with your day. This is when if you have a poor memory, then you might forget what you had done. Then, in one day, you might do so much. Even again, in just one day, you may have your old life back. As well, you might not still want your old computer life back again another time the day after you did it. Or you could use a computer a bit differently to how you did it beforehand. Then you might not have such problems with it and instead feel happy to use one. So, really, with or without a computer, you really can be happy. The end.